Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the Friday MLB slate. We have 14 games tonight, so let's get started. As always, appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get right into looking at the totals and the projected lineups today. A couple of good pitching options for us to consider. Starts with Zach Wheeler at the top, who's coming off of his best showing of the season. He's been great in a few starts, but going 9 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 11 strikeouts against the Mets was something special. Put up almost 50 fantasy points. It's a matchup here against the Reds, who have a very powerful offense, but Zach Wheeler has just been a different animal, especially at home in Citizens Bank Park. The Reds have just a 3.7 total. Philly's favored by almost a run and a half. I think you gotta consider Zach Wheeler as your main pitcher today. I like him more than Julio Urias, just because Wheeler has shown a lot more strikeout upside. I like him more than Robbie Ray, even though he's comparable as a guy that you could pivot to if you wanted to save some money. But I'm expecting Zach Wheeler to have another very good game. The Phillies been on a roll. They lost 2 or 3 to Dodgers, but still winning 9 of the last 11. A really good streak they're on right now, keeping them in first place in the NL East. Other guys to consider here. I'm not looking at Zach Plesac just because he doesn't strike very many guys out. I don't really want to go to McGill against the Dodgers lineup. So I think you can look to Blake Snell coming off of a great performance. It was against the same Diamondbacks team where in 7 innings, 13 strikeouts. He makes some sense. Still having a pretty rough year from an ERA perspective, but I guess you could play him if you needed to. Greinke looks alright at 85, and then you can go all the way down to like Shane McClanahan at $7,800. He's been awesome, especially over the last few starts, going 7 innings. Most recently against the Orioles, and then going on 6-6 against 2 tough teams, the Red Sox and the Yankees. He's very good with the strikeouts, limited sample this year, just 84 innings, but 99 strikeouts. Does give up some home runs, 11 bombs given up, but overall, opponent's hitting just 238 against him. And only $7,800, he makes some sense as a cheap SP2 if you wanted to pair him with Zach Wheeler or pair him with like Robbie Ray. Then we can maybe look to like go all the way down, like Tyler Mahle. The Phillies have a decent total, but he's been like way more expensive for the entire season. Now he's getting all the way down to just $7,100, coming off of his best start, 32 fantasy points against the Pirates. He goes deep into games, 6, 7 innings, sometimes 5, just because he gives up some walks, and also he has some long at bats during the stretches sometimes. But 71 for a guy that was 10K just 2 starts ago, was 98 last start. He makes like a pretty reasonable SP2 guy. I like him and McClanahan similarly. And then maybe you can go all the way down to like Gomber, who also had a very good start last game. A lot of these guys coming off of their best start of the season. Tough matchup against the Giants, but at least he gets to pitch in that ballpark. And that's mainly it for the pitching perspective. Don't think I need to go to anybody else. For the bats today, there's only one team that sticks out in terms of a huge total, and that's the Boston Red Sox. 6.8 total today against Spencer Watkins at home. A couple of teams with a 5+ total are the Milwaukee Brewers against Mitch Keller, but they get a tough ballpark to hit in going into PNC compared to where they are usually at in Miller Park. So ballpark downgrade, and some of these guys might not be in the lineup, which would hurt a stack. Another team that looks appealing, I would say, are the Oakland A's. They always look appealing against the Rangers. Seems like they always hit them around. Dane Dunning, decent, but he can also get hit around, so I don't mind going to him. Some one-off plays on the Indians like Straw. Some guys that are cheap. Ramirez, just with the power that he possesses. And then I guess you could look to like the Blue Jays. I like them a bit against Chris Flexen just because he pitches to contact, and a lot of these guys have so much pop to leave the ballpark in that sort of situation. But really, I'm mainly focused on the Red Sox. I'm going to mix and match some of these other teams with some of these other guys that are priced nicely. So first guy to consider for me is going to be actually on the Houston Astros, and that's Aledmys Diaz. I've been playing him a ton recently, and it's been working out with all the injuries on the Astros. He's gotten a ton of playing time. He's going up against a lefty, which he has crushed this year. Looking at his numbers against lefties, he's batting .340 this year, 3 home runs. Small sample size because he was hurt for a good amount of the season, but that is good enough for a 283 ISO against lefties. Only a 10.5% K rate this year. All right, so moving on, after Diaz, who's only 32, you can play him at first base or third base. Boston Red Sox bat that I like is Xander Bogaerts. He's nicely priced compared to some of the other guys. Still expensive at $5,400, but want to definitely get to a Boston stack. Bogaerts should hopefully be able to get a couple of hits, maybe some RBIs. He was rocking a 3 straight 2-hit game before last night's or yesterday afternoon's 0 for 4 performance. But just such a good matchup against Baltimore and this bad bullpen. Any team against Baltimore will be interesting the rest of the way. In the outfield, JD Martinez is another guy I like to get to just because he started off the season incredibly hot. Then he got a bit cold. He's still having a great season. 292, 21 home runs. Most of those did come early in the year. But he's been awesome at home. 315 average, 549 slugging. Easy for him to just pop it over the monster or hit it off the monster. He's been heating up a little bit at times. Just kind of been up and down. 4 hits, 0 hits, 4 hits, 0 hits. So hasn't really got it going yet. But if the Red Sox stack does go off, you'd expect Martinez to play a big role in that. So I have to have him in my stack. And then I kind of like Ketel Marte just for the savings. He's $3,800. Looking at his numbers against lefties are awesome. Blake Snell's been struggling this year. He had a really good start against the Diamondbacks last time out. But Marte missed a bunch of games this year. It's only played in 47. But he's another guy. If you look at his numbers against lefties, you'll be happy with the pick. Hopefully, Blake Snell gives up a couple of hits, maybe a couple of runs, and I think Marte could tag him. He's batting .442 this year, 2 bombs against lefties and 52 at bats. Last year he batted .423 against lefties. Just a really good hitter against lefties. Overall, .304 in his career, and that is in 769 at bats. So big sample size. Looking at his career numbers, I think he makes some sense, and will probably be super low owned. So that is it for DraftKings. All right, on FanDuel, Zach Wheeler is 11-2. I really want to get to a full-on Boston stack, so it is kind of tough to have Wheeler and go with the full stack of the Red Sox. You can do it, but I think you can spend down a little bit and go to like Shane McClanahan, a guy against this Twins team that has a bunch of strikeouts in there. They traded away / have a couple of their better hitters hurt. So I think McClanahan, with the way he's been pitching, hopefully they let him go 90-plus pitches again. Diaz, affordable on FanDuel. He's first and third base eligible in DraftKings, only second base on FanDuel, but he looks appealing. And then I want to get to the Boston bats, Bogaerts, Martinez, Duran. Duran is the cheapest guy. He's probably going to bat in the top 3 or 4 in the batting order. He usually bats second, so that is always nice for a value play at only 25. And then getting to the big boy bats at Martinez and Bogaerts, something I like to do. So that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I will see you all next time.